Welcome back to this video tutorial. This is David Gladness. Now on this tutorial, basically what I'll be teaching you today is how you can create this simple text effect you're seeing right on your screen, making use of just your Pixellab. Now in the previous tutorial, I explained some things to you about creating a text effect from scratch, and I said something about text effect layers. Now this particular text effect is actually having just two layers. You can see that right here. Just two texts were the one that was edited, and it was beautified with the 3D effect and some other things to come up to this particular extent you're seeing. Now this was created randomly, and I want it to be as simple as possible so that you will be able to understand. I won't be going deep into what I have explained before, but then you have to understand that text effect deals with layer. It deals with layer. It deals with everything you're seeing on your Pixellab, like the 3D shape, some of the effects you might like the 3D shape, the shadows, the stroke, and other things are things you're going to combine together to come up with a very good text effect. If you remember in the last few episodes, I explained to you that Canva is not a best app to create text effects from scratch. This doesn't mean that Canva can't actually create, but then I would advise you to learn how to use the Photo P editable text effects. If you have not gone through the video before, kindly go through it now to learn how to use editable text effects. If you have not gone through the video before, check the previous video I uploaded. You're going to see a tutorial on how to download text effects templates and how you can also edit them making use of the Photo P. But then on this particular tutorial, I will be teaching you on how you can create a text effect from scratch, and this is the text effect you are going to be editing. So without further ado, let's proceed with the tutorial. Welcome back, guys. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to delete this particular default text, then go to my image, my background size. So I would like to use the YouTube thumbnail. I would like to use the YouTube thumbnail size. So click on this place you're seeing image size. Now you can now click on this place you're seeing custom. This place you're seeing custom. So click on it, then click on this place you're seeing YouTube thumbnail right here. All right. So this is the size 1280 by 720. Then click on OK, and as you can see, we have our background interface. Now the next thing we're going to do is to change our background color. To change the background color, just come to this place you're seeing color. Now the color we want to use is actually a gradient type of color. Then click on this place you're seeing gradients. Now if you are on your gradient for the first time, just tap on plus. Now you might be getting something like this. Now this is what you're going to do. Click on this place you're seeing color icon right here. Now for this particular place, the color code I am going to use, the color code I'm going to use for the background is actually 0623FF. Now I'm going to copy it. I'll copy it because I will need it for the second part as well. Then tap on this mark icon. You can see it has given us that blue color. Then tap on OK. You can see that, right? Now come to this, click on OK right here. Then come to this particular node right here. Now click on the color palette, click on the pencil-like icon. Now paste that particular color code. I'm going to paste that particular color code I copied. Then tap on this mark icon. Then click on OK. Now I want to give you can see it's looking like a regular background. You see this particular node. I want to make it a little bit lighter than the first one. So I'm going to just scroll down. You can see this first node. Just bring it down. Yes, I think this is okay. You can see that. So I'll just leave this here. Now tap on OK. As you can see, we have gotten the background we want. Then tap on this mark icon. Now the next thing we're going to do is to scroll to, you can see this icon right here. Tap on it. Then click on this place you're seeing noise and enable the noise effect. Now we are going to reduce this a little bit. So let's reduce this to, let's say 35 is okay. 35 is okay, but then let's reduce. You can see this. Let's move it to 15. The enhance. I wouldn't like this to be too rough, so it should be on 15. The alpha on 35 and the enhance on 15. Then tap on this mark icon. Now this is where the work began. We have gotten the background and this is okay. Now we are going to bring in a text. Just bring in a new text. Now double tap or edit the text and input. Let's just use Pixel. All right. Now I'm going to increase the size a little bit. Then make use of my grid line, or you can use your relative position. I love to use grid line a lot. All right. Now I want to change the font I will use for this by clicking on AB font. Now the font I used for the actual text effect was funny and cute, this particular funny and cute font. So you can input pixel. Now the next thing we are going to do is to start adjusting this particular text. Now the first thing we're going to do now is to go to 3D shape, 3D text rather. Click on this place you're seeing 3D text. Now enable the 3D text. Now when you click on enable, the first thing you're going to select here is this place you're seeing oblique. Click on oblique. Now if you should look at that 3D text, the effect, it is kind of distorted. So we are going to where you can see this place you're seeing stimulate lightning, turn it off. Now after turning it off, you can see this oblique angle. We want to move it to another side. So let's just move this to about 215 is okay. 215 is okay for this. Now the darkening, let's reduce it a little bit. You can see is how dark that background, the oblique effect is. So let's just leave this on 25. Yes, I think 25 is enough. Now for the depth, we are going to reduce the depth because this is what the depth is. You can see that. So we are going to reduce the depth, and yes, this is okay. Yes, this is okay. Then tap on this mark icon. The next thing we are going to do, scroll to where you are going to see stroke. Just go to stroke and enable your stroke. Now we are going to use a white color for our stroke. Let's use a white color for our stroke and reduce this to 2. 2 is okay for the stroke width. 2 is okay for the stroke width. So tap on the highlight on the mark icon. All right. Now the next thing we are going to do now is to duplicate this particular text. This is the first layer, and I think we are done with that. But then, if we need to adjust it, we'll adjust it after the second layer. Now duplicate this particular text. You can see this particular text. Just copy it like this. Now lock the first layer. This is the first layer beneath. Okay, lock it up. Now we want to work with this layer. Now let me hide the first layer so that you guys can see the second layer properly. The first thing we are going to do is to change our color. Click on color, then click on gradient, then tap on plus. Now we want to change the gradient effect, but then before we start changing the gradient effect, you can see how this was adjusted. So make sure you are tapping on this second gradient fill you are seeing right here. The next thing to do, click on this node, this particular node. Click on the color icon. The color we are going to use here is A63808. It's A63808. So highlight on this mark icon, then click on OK. All right. Now click on this OK as well. Now tap on this top node. Click on the color icon. Click on the color palettes where you're going to input the color code. Now the color code we are going to use here is D46E19. All right, D46E19. Then highlight this icon, then click on OK. And as you can see, we've gotten the color we want to use. All right, now tap on the mark icon, then go to this place you're seeing stroke. Then click on gradient. You want to change the gradient, the stroke color. So click on gradient. All right, click on gradient. Then click on this place you're seeing the same gradient color we used for the text itself. Now we are going to increase the stroke width a little. So increase the stroke width. Sorry, tap on mark. Go to stroke. Now increase the stroke width to 6. You can increase it to 6 or 5, but then let's leave it on 6. Now we are going to increase the size a little bit. Let's activate this. Let's make it visible. So we want to make the text a little bit bigger than, you can see that, or better still, you can just go to your size. So click on size. You can see it's in 221, right? Which means the previous text is also on 221. So you can increase this by 5. So it's going to be on 226. Now we are almost done with this. Now bring this down. Move it to back. Just move it to back. Now you can tap on the first text and then position it. Go to your position key and start moving. Position it in such a way that is going to be almost on top of each other, but then there will be a part of the text at the back showing. You can see that. Now go to shadow. Tap on the text at the top. Go to shadow and enable the shadow. Now we are going to adjust the shadow. First, reduce the blur radius to maybe 2 is okay. All right. Now the offset X, you can bring that to -2. Then the offset Y, you can put that on +2 or +3. Now you will notice that the shadow effect is too deep, like the shadow is too thick. So we are going to reduce the shadow opacity. So you can reduce it by half. So you can reduce the shadow opacity to about 50 or maybe 45. I'll just leave mine on 45. Then tap on this mark, highlight on the mark icon. Now we are going to give this text at the back as well a shadow effect. So tap on the text at the back. Then go to shadows. Enable the shadow. Now we are going to reduce the shadow opacity as well. We are going to reduce the shadow opacity to maybe 70 or 75 is okay. 75 is okay. Now reduce the blur radius to 5. Reduce the blur radius to 5. Alright. So your offset X can be on -3, and the offset Y as well, you can leave that on +3. Just add 3. Yes, this is okay. And as you can see, the text is up. This is actually superb. This is looking beautiful already. Now, before we proceed with the tutorial, I would like to show you how you can actually save your text effect in such a way that you will not need to go through all this stress again any other time if you want to use it. So tap on the first layer, then go to this place you are seeing style. After tapping on the first layer, click on this place you are seeing style. Now click on this place you are seeing save. Save the current text as a new text, then click on OK. Now tap on the second layer as well. After tapping on the second layer, click on style, click on save, and click on this OK. Now next time if you want to use this type of text, let's say I bring in another text, it could be any font at all. So let's say I use Pixel. You can see that, right? I'm going to hide this particular one so that we are not going to be having mistakes. So you can see that Pixel, then I'm going to position it at the middle. Let's change the font. I'm going to change the font to funny and cute. It could be any font as I've said earlier, or better still, let me use this grow bold. Alright, so let me position it at the middle. Now all I need to do if I want to use the text effect another time, come to this place you are seeing style, then click on this place you are seeing browse. Now these are default styles that came with Pixellab, but then you can see this my style where I highlighted. Click on my style. This is the first one we just saved. Now you can duplicate it, go to style again, click on browse, then click on my style and select the second sample. Now you can now start positioning them the right way. You can start positioning them. You can reduce the size, then go to your position and position them the right way. You can see that. So next time you won't need to go through all the stress of you recreating that particular text effect from scratch again. You'll be able to use it just because you have saved it. Now if I want to edit this text, I can edit it to whatever and use whichever font I feel like using. So I'm just going to delete these two. I believe you have understand how you can actually go with that aspect. Now let's continue with our text effects tutorial. Now you can go to your inner shadow. As I've said earlier, text effect is very simple. All you need to do is you need to be creative and just observe what you are doing gradually. Now let's go to inner shadow and activate the inner shadow. All right, I'm going to use the black color for my inner shadow, but then the blur radius I will reduce it to 2, and then the offset X I'm going to reduce it. You can see what we are trying to create there, right? So I'm going to reduce the offset X to -10, and it is too thick, so you can tap on plus. You can see that the shadow is not looking so realistic, so tap on plus and reduce the shadow transparency. So I'm just going to reduce it. I think this is okay. Now the offset Y as well, I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to add to the offset Y. So I'm just going to leave this on +10. So my blur radius is on 2. I reduce the shadow transparency, then my offset X on -10 and my offset Y on 10. Now I'm going to reduce my instead of that, go to stroke and increase the stroke width. So we are going to increase the stroke width a little, and you can see that. You can see how beautiful this is. You can decide to save this as a style as well by saving it just like I have explained earlier. Tap on the second text as well, save it as style, click on OK. Now you can easily go back to style anytime or whenever you want to use this text effect again without having to start from the scratch again. And as you can see, we are done with this text effect and it is looking very smart and it is simple. Just 2-layer text effects and it's looking this great. Now I'm going to stop here for this particular tutorial. Thank you for sticking around with me to the end of this video tutorial. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, kindly do that so that it's going to encourage me to do more of this type of tutorials. As I've explained earlier, Canva users can't always create text effects from scratch due to some reasons, but then I'll try to create a text effect for Canva users probably in my next tutorial or the one that will follow my next tutorial. So thank you. See you on the next episode.